So I got a great question to ask. Who was more scary to white supremacists that was a black athlete in the, going on from the to the 60s and so forth? So Jackie Robinson's arrival in baseball or Bill Russell? It's a great question because Jackie Robinson obviously faced all kinds of hate and endured it. And I do believe that with the stress and the tension and other black ball players, it was huge and humongous. And Lord knows Jackie Robinson was the baseball equivalent of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, there's no in and buts about it. You know, you can't begin to say for a black man to step on a baseball because if you know how important baseball was, it's hard for you to imagine that today because the NFL is bigger and basketball is bigger, even though baseball salaries are guaranteed. And I dare you to find me an NFL player or NBA player salary that even is going to match Bryce Harper's or some of the money that they get paid because they get paid chunks. They used to get paid. Whereas even though with all the TV revenue and everything the NFL and NBA's got, they throw that salary cap on you hard. You know, if you're a Yankees fan, you know what I mean because people always say, oh, you was trying to buy chips and everything. But you can't say it about the NFL and NBA. They get people, but they don't spread the money. It's a different. But anyway, let's get back to the story at hand. So if I'm answering this question in my own personal opinion, because remember, this is just strictly mine and, you know, I'm going to say Bill Russell. Um, because of the extreme more racism in Boston, but also because of the fact that what happened to his house, the way he was because he won at such a high level. And it's funny. Black great athletes like Magic Johnson, who you might consider the greatest player ever, and it wouldn't be nothing wrong to say that. Only thing they ever say about Russell is he's the greatest winner ever. Now it's interesting. There was a poll back in 1980, and they called him the greatest player ever. That was before the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, LeBron Jameses of the world came in. Steph Curry's came in. I'm like, I'm just saying, guys, that you can debate for your own era, your own time. It's all, it's subjective if you want to. Just saying. But anyway, the man won more rings than anybody. He dominated. Defense wins championships. You have to acknowledge that. So, he also paid the biggest price. Because in his beloved city of Boston, Ted Williams was more beloved. And then later Larry Bird was, and so he was in between it. He was more of a threat because they never properly acknowledged him. They just retired his jersey all across the NBA in the last few years. They just, people not understanding it. I know Udonis Haslam's got a gig and one of my favorite Miami Heat players, but his lack of understanding the historical implication of Bill Russell, I don't think people understand what Bill Russell went through. I don't think they understand. He got the Finals Award named after him. I don't think the man got enough shrine. I know if he was white, it would have been bigger than Babe Ruth 3 times over. When you win as a player and as a coach and you can dictate and set things and create like he did, that man never got his full true due. So the answer to me is Russell because he won. See, that's where you become polarizing. That's why Patrick Mahomes is more polarizing athlete going today because the people throwing out polarizing is just like people throwing out the word genius. It ain't for everybody. To understand polarizing, you have to be dominant. I have to be in your face. You have to go through me. It's not a case of you're the flavor of the moment or you're the hottest thing or that people have a divide on you from a context of the end. I'm talking about where I have to look at you day in and day out, year in and year out, season for season. And though Jackie Robinson won and so on, Bill Russell was a pyramid. He was a dynasty. Do you understand what that means? And one of the most whitest, racist places. And he single-handedly was a force. And against people like a Wilt Chamberlain who gets all his rightful due. But Bill Russell was a force. So yes, because when it starts to mean dollars and cents, it starts to infringe and impede. And people don't look at it as quite the same. So they'll get up there and have people like Matt Johnson, oh, he was the greatest winner ever, you know. That's why, like Herman would say, you play to win the game. So if he's the greatest winner ever, he's the greatest ever. Tell it about Bill Russell. Don't sugarcoat it. That's how you have to acknowledge Bill Russell. So they say winning in a way to downplay him and get dissed. And then they have racist idiots like JJ Redick, and people say, oh, he played with plumbers and lounge singers and custodians and bartenders. And this is the kind of lies that get spread. He is the most disrespected great athlete ever. And you can quote me. You can quote me. Because Bill Russell never gets what he's supposed to truly get. You know. And they really, regardless of how you look at how he was dominant, he was dominant. He won for his era. Period. So that says a lot. He had to deal with a cultural war, battles on the court and off. Where did that man have peace and justice? But that doesn't downplay what Jackie Robinson went through either. So don't get it twisted, because baseball was America's sport, and he went through a whole lot too. But if you're asking me who was more polar, it was Russell, because believe me, if he had been white, they wouldn't even talk about Babe Ruth. And the way he dominated hasn't been met. Oh, they want to put Brady close and others close? Bill Russell is on his own island. For better or for worse, how you look at it. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. And if you ever request videos, drop them below. I will get to them. Peace.